What if the most tragic moments in Formula One never happened? You're still on the grid, engines screaming, history untouched, but as the lights go out, you realize something is wrong. The champions you remember don't exist anymore. Level 1. You're racing against Senna. You're on the grid in the mid-1990s, but this time, Ayrton Senna never died. He stays with Williams' F1 team, and now you're not watching history, you're inside it. You line up next to him, calm, focused, untouchable. This isn't the fading legend people expected. This is peak Senna, with years still ahead. Now everything shifts. Because the man who was supposed to dominate this era doesn't get it for free anymore. Michael Schumacher doesn't rise uncontested. Every championship becomes a war. Every corner is a statement. And suddenly, the entire GOAT debate starts breaking apart before it even begins. Level 2. The weekend that changes everything. Doesn't you're back at Imola. But this time, Roland Ratzenberger walks away. No fatal crash. No shockwave through the paddock. And that means something you didn't expect. Senna drives differently. No emotional weight. No warning signs. No hesitation. You're chasing him through high-speed corners, and he's pushing harder than ever. Because nothing told him to slow down. Nothing told the sport to stop. And now you realize, the moment that once changed Formula One forever never happened. So the risks stay the same. And the danger never leaves. Level 3. The champion that never stopped. You're thrown back into the 1960s. And this time, Jim Clark keeps racing. You watch him dominate with surgical precision. No mistakes, no wasted movement. He doesn't just win, he redefines control. Now everything shifts again. Because the drivers who were supposed to rise never get the same chance. Jackie Stewart still becomes great, but the timeline changes. Records stretch further. Legends overlap longer. And Formula One becomes more competitive, earlier than it ever was. Level 4. Ferrari's identity, rewritten. You're inside a red cockpit now. And Gilles Villeneuve is still here, still fearless, still aggressive, still pushing the car beyond its limits. Ferrari feels different, not unstable, not chaotic, focused, dangerous, consistent. And now the future changes. Because the team doesn't go through the same struggles. The drivers who were meant to define Ferrari later might never get that chance. The legacy you know never forms the same way. Level 5. The future that was taken returns. You're in the modern era now. Rain, low visibility, chaos. But this time, Jules Bianchi survives. And that changes everything. Because he was never just another driver, he was Ferrari's future. Now the driver pipeline shifts. Seats change, contracts change, opportunities disappear. And someone you recognize, Charles Leclerc, might never get the same path to the top. The grid you know starts breaking apart. Level 6. The safety that never came. You're back in the car. Full speed. No compromise. But something feels off. Because the changes you depend on never arrived. No urgency. No revolution. The FIA never pushed hard enough. And the Halo device? It doesn't exist. Now every corner feels different. Every crash carries more weight. And you start to realize, some drivers in the future might not survive this version of Formula One. Level 7. The champions collapse. You're looking at the record books now, but they don't look right. Because the names, the numbers, the dominance, they've all shifted. Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton. Their paths aren't as clear anymore. More competition. More resistance. More disruption. Championships split. Legacies questioned. And suddenly, the greatest of all time might not be who you think. Level 8. The mindset changes. You're back in the cockpit again. But now the fear is different. Because without those defining tragedies, drivers don't learn the same lessons. Some push harder. Too hard. Others never develop that edge of caution that keeps them alive. The balance between speed and survival is completely different. Level 9. The grid you never saw. Now you see it clearly. A completely different Formula One grid. Different teammates. Different rivalries. Different champions. Drivers who should have been gone are still here. Drivers you expected to rise never made it. And the sport feels familiar, but not the same. Level 10. The truth you can't ignore. The lights go out again. You accelerate. Full throttle. And now you understand. If those moments never happened, Formula One would be faster, more dangerous, more unpredictable. But it wouldn't be the sport you know today, because every safety rule, every improvement, every life saved after, came from those losses. And without them, you're not just changing history, you're risking the future.